Alright, question number 4. We got 8 parts. It wants us to first draw a scatter diagram by hand. Again, I'm going to just go ahead and do it with the technology. You can probably do it by hand, it wouldn't be too bad. Turn this on, y equal. Let's clear all the. Well, you can reset everything if you do second plus 7 1 2, and I'm gonna go to stat, enter on edit, and then I'm gonna input the x values 2 3 4 6 7, so 5 of them. Go to the y values 2 5 7 14 17. And go to y equal, or second y equal, enter to turn the stat plot on, and then arrow down and just hit enter on that one. And then we can do zoom 9 will give you the stat plot. So here's our stat plot. The window goes from 0 to 10, and this last one goes 0 to 20. Looks closer to, I want to say C. Based on appearance of 10 by 10. Okay, so they don't like it. So let me change the window. This window, let's go 0 to 10. And then let's do the same thing on the Y scale, 0. Oh, it goes to 20. Okay, so that makes more sense. 0 to 10, 0 to 20, 0 to 10, and then 0 to 20. So A would be the one that would best match up. So really depends on the window. They want us to find the equation of the line containing 2 points 2 2 and 7 17. So we can do this by hand. We can also do it with technology. I'm going to do it both. Just take a little bit of extra. So slope intercept form, which is something we want you to always remember. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So just a regular linear equation. We got 2 points. We have 2 2. And we have 7 17. So this is my first point, this is my second point. Remember, they go x y in that order. So this is my y2. So I'm going to do 17 minus my y1 of 2 over 7, my x2 minus my x1 value of 2. That would give us 15 over 5, which when reduced, that would just give us 3. So our slope would be 3. So I have y equals 3x plus my b value. So just got to figure out my b value. At this point, you can plug in one of the x or y points. You can plug it in here and figure out b, or you can plug it into point slope form if you remember point slope form. So point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So once we find the slope, we can plug it in there, and I'll do both of them side by side. You can pick which one you like. You can pick any point. I'm going to pick the smallest value, so 2 and 2. I'm going to plug 2 for y, and then 3, 2 for x plus b. That's the one I'm looking for. So solving for b, that will give me 2 equals 6 plus b, and then from here I can figure b is a -4 if I just subtract 6 from both sides. I get -4 equals b. So my equation overall would be y equals 3x minus 4. That would be the equation containing those 2 points. Doing it with point slope form, you would have y minus the y value of 2 equals the slope we found, which was 3, times x minus the x1 value of 2. So plug it in that first point. then I would distribute on the right side. So y minus 2 equals 3x, and then you distribute to both. So minus 6, and then you would add 2 to both sides. And that would cancel out, and you end up with y equals 3x minus 4. So that will do it as well. Now also, you can do this in the calculator. If I go to stat, I'm going to hit enter on edit. So since I have some data in L1 and L2, I want to go ahead and I'm going to use L3 and L4. So I'm going to do x value and then x value, so 2 and then 7. And then directly across from those x values, I'm going to put the 2 y values, so 2 and then 17. All right, then I'm going to go to stat. I'm going to go to calculate, and option number 4, we're going to do linear regression. So it's saying which one has your x value. So right now it's on L1. I put those in L3. It's above the 3 in blue. So I'm going to do second 3. My y values were in L4. So I'm going to do second 4 to make sure they use those lists. And then I'm going to calculate. And it shows me here's the slope equation. A is 3, which is what we got, slope. And then B is negative 4. So there's 3 different ways you can do that. So we get 3 and negative 4. We're going to graph the line found in part B with the scatter plot. So I'm going to go y equal. I'm going to type in 3x minus 4, and then just let that graph. It goes through like almost all 5 points. It touches them pretty close. Based on that, I want to say B looks the best. Let me look at these a little bit closer. Move this over. So it goes through the center, close to that one. This one's on the bottom half. Yeah, so B is going to be the best line of fit. Determine by hand the least squares regression line. So it says by hand. So by hand, you would need to find standard deviation, which is going to be a lot. So again, I'm going to do this with the calculator. So if I go to not y equal, I'm going to clear this out. I'm going to go to stat. We already have the information in there. Go over to calc, and then we're going to go down to option number 8. And then we're going to do L1 and L2. That's where I put the original data. And then we're going to calculate. And so it gives me the linear regression. You know, is because it's different. It's A plus BX instead of BX plus A. And it's pretty close. It's 3.02 and negative 4.30. So round to 3 decimal places. So the slope 3.023. And then the y-intercept is going to be negative 4.302. All right, and then we're going to graph the least squares regression line with the scatter plot. So if I go to y equal, once I compute that, I can have it recall it for me. So I can go to bars and then statistics. We're going to go over to equation. And then we want option number 1, the regression line. And it just puts it all there for you, unrounded. And then when we hit graph, so we get this line. And it looks still pretty close to what we had before. So B is going to be the best fit. And then we want to compute the sum of squared residuals found in part B. So sum of squares residual found in part B. So I'm going to go back, y equal, and then I think I can do this with stat, maybe. let's see. So these are my y values, okay? So I want to have this first. Let me delete these. I'm gonna clear it because I want to put it here. I want to put it right there. So the residuals are going to be the difference in the y values using the predicted equation. So first I'm going to go up to L3. So I'm going to tell it, I want you to do this for the whole line. I want you to do the 3 times the numbers in L1. Second L1, these are my x values. 3 times L1 minus 4. Okay, so it's going to give me these values. Okay, so these values are pretty close. That one's a little bit off. All the rest of them are like exact. All right. So now I'm going to tell this column to subtract those two. So this is the actual value. This is the predicted value. So I'm going to have it subtract these two. So in 4, I'm going to say take the ones in L2, actual value, second L2. I'm going to take the actual value, subtract the predicted value. So second L3. So I'm going to do it all for me all at once. I'm going to subtract all those, we get this. And then we're going to square all of these numbers and add them up. So basically they're all zeros and you add and you'll get a 1. So you can continue going there. So if you square and add those all up, I'm going to get a 1, just the number 1. All right, and then this one says compute the sum of square residual with the least squares regression line found in part D. So this time I'm going to be using the regression equation. I'm going to do the rounded version. So it's going to be similar to what we just did, except I'm going to do it farther over. So I'm going to say I want 5 to equal 3.023, so that's the slope, times x. X was in L1, second L1. Those values minus 4.302. So it's going to give me these values, okay? So I'm going to take all of these values and subtract them from the original response L2. So I'm taking L5 and subtracting L2. So go to L6 at the top and hit enter, and we're going to say second L5 minus second L2. Okay, so I get these values. These are my residuals. I want to now square the residuals. Okay, so I'm running out of room. I don't have another list. So let me just clear what I have here. Okay, so I want to take in second L6 and I want to square those values. So L6 squares, square those. And then I need to add all of these numbers up. So let me write them down. I know there's a way that I can sum them. Let me see if I can learn something here. Second L4. Can I get it to sum those? Let me see if I can get the calculator to do this for me. Number. This is the sum. Say 1 equals 1. 1 to 5. It might not work. Yeah, it's not going to work. So let me just recall that. I want to type those numbers in. I'm going to do 0.0655. I'm going to do 4 decimal places plus 0.0543 when rounded. running out. Let me go over. Let's go back to stat then. Let's look at it. The next was 0.6241. Plus 0.6241 plus my next value, 0269 19 0199 0269 0199. Plus 0.0269 plus 0.0199. Okay, so we get 0.7907 or 0.791. So I do recommend you use technology because this is a lot of calculations by hand. It will take an extremely long time, much longer than it's taken, doing it with technology. So H says comment on the fit of the line found in part B versus the least squares regression line found in part D. So when you look at these two, the square is 1, this one is 0.79. This one is lower. We want a smaller square residual. So the line in part passes through the most points. Let me see, the line in part B passes through the most points. The line in part D, the sum minimizes that's been the best fit. Okay, so yes, this is what we want to do.